Hi Claudio, welcome to my hut where we've spoken so many times on the video, but we've never been to England, so welcome to England. It's lovely to have you here. Hope you've had a good few days.
Thanks, Andy, for letting me come in here. You are the best guest, and I spent 3 wonderful days with you. Yeah, I'm really sorry to go away, but anyway, thanks again.
No problem. Tell us a little bit about your water sports background.
Well, we are talking about 1977 when we started, and windsurf was not still in Europe. I mean, windsurf was someone was hearing something about windsurf, but I was in the Italian team of dinghy, Flying Junior, and we were already starting with making sails, dinghy sails like jibs, mainsails, spinnakers, and then immediately it was like falling in love with someone because when we saw this, do you remember Tank 8?
Yes.
Tank 8. When we saw this, wow, it's interesting. It's something good for the young people, and we decided to work with this and designing the first sails. Immediately we have got some result in the first regatta of Tank 8, and then all the rest, like Crete, I remember, second division it was called. Yeah. And then there was a time where we were having in Italy something like 85% of the racers using Challenger. So it was, we were nearly stopping making dinghy sails, and the full production in the loft, 10 people were working 12 months every day for producing sails in Italy.
Wow.
This was the beginning.
That's amazing. And was that when you started to get into sail design?
No, I was really starting, as I told you, immediately with dinghy. And we decided immediately to make the design of these sails. In the past, in that period, there was no programs, no computers that can help in sail design. So we were designing the curve, the NASA shape on the floor with the curved lines, designing panel by panel and making the loof that was fitting perfectly with the mast and the boom of that time that were in aluminium or in fiberglass.
Yeah.
Carbon was so far. Maybe the first masts were coming out with Kevlar, but naturally we are in the prehistory of windsurf.
Yeah. Wow. So you've been now how many years? 42 years?
45 now. 45. But 42, 43 in windsurf.
And where are you in your design at the moment? Is it constantly evolving, or is it something that is there something specifically you're working on at the moment?
Like in every sport evolution, you can never stop. You have always to work day by day to do something new, to study something that can, you have to make the research and the develop of the product. Naturally, the big invention, the big changes in this sport were made many years ago. If we talk about cams, if we talk about carbon booms, carbon masts, the sails that is not triangular, but before there was the cutaway and other solution that we were studying in the past, and now we are overpassed with something else, or we have changed, or we continue to use. Yeah. For example, one of my last was S-shape. The S-shape is giving the possibility for having a very light pressure on the backhand when you go, and this was my idea. And then another was, for example, the on-off mast panel. especially in freestyle and wave sails. We have this soft part in front when you are jibing or you are making, I don't know, every maneuvers where the sail is not working full of wind. You have the sail flat, so it's neutral. This is very important, especially in freestyle and in wave riding. It's really important. So you can never stop, naturally.
And is there anything that you do differently to other sail designs in the market?
Yeah, I at the moment I'm working for 2 other brands. Yeah, naturally, a secret. I'm designing for them, but in the past I was working for a brand that now is one of the top brands, and we were winning with my design the World Cup, and 2 times second, 1 time third, fourth, and in between Challenger Sails, CHS brands and these other. In the last 10 years, we were always in the first 5 position in World Cup, in PVA.
And of course, if we look a bit tired on the camera at the moment, it's because we've been up most of the night watching Magic in Japan.
Yeah, I have this face today, just because I was just sleeping between 4 and 6 in the morning, or less, because of really this is important moment. Maciek is pushing hard to try to get the results he should have for the big work he's doing since minimum 4 years without, not only into the water, but working with me. We are like brothers now.
Yeah.
I know, more father and son, but inside we are brothers, because every day he's asking something to me, or he's explaining something to, not problem. I mean, I have this, we can do better, and I am thinking, creating a new design or changing something, making a prototype, and he goes in the water as fast as possible to give me his feedback. This is important. This is the most important thing, and then you can see that this is working, because when he was coming to Challenger, he was in between, I don't remember very well, but between 15, 16 to 20, the position in PVA. Yeah. Then he was arriving in the first 10, then 7th, 4th last year, and then now we are fighting for the title. Maybe he will not win, I don't know, I hope so, but this is not important. This is the meaning of this is that the work we are doing together is giving his result. We are getting the target. We are in our idea. If it was not COVID, probably that we have been stopped in PVA for 2 years, probably this result was already in his hand. Yes. And I am happy for him. Naturally for me, but for him, absolutely more.
Yeah, I think, I'm sure if Magic was here and he does his TV all the time, he would say thank you for all of the work that you do with him, because as you say, you have a very good relationship, and you, I suppose, how many sailors over the years have you had that communication with, that you can you can say, he can say something to you and you can say, okay, right, I will change this?
To be realistic, there is not a number. It's not a number, because sometimes you make one sail, and it's crazy. But the last one was the 5.5 foil. He told me, Claudio, what do you did in this sail? The first prototype is the best foil sails I ever tasted in my life. So it's something that you don't know. There is not an answer. Sometimes you have to make maybe 5-10 prototypes, because every time he says, yes, okay, but can you do this more? Can you do this more? He's always asking me, when I am in the starting line, I would like to have something that if we go exactly crossing the starting line, me, Iachino, Albo, Motor 4, and the top riders. When I arrive at the first jibe, I would like to have that 3-4 meters in front of them. Yeah, I told him it's not difficult, magic. If it is only a few meters, it's no problem.
Yeah.
And they laugh, and we laugh each other.
But you don't just make sails for Magic. You make custom sails for everyday people that race or even use your sails recreationally, just to fly across Lake Garda.
This is the heritage of Challenger story. We were born like really manufacturing dinghy sails, still doing dinghy sails, and now is the yachting department is bigger than the windsurfing department, absolutely bigger. But our story is that we have the machine, we have the table, we have the programs to design and make. So we have the material, the cloth, and the buttons, and whatever it needed comes in the loft. I design, we start working, stitching, and in the end we have the sail rolled inside. Why we go on producing, for example, like we did this year, about 300 crafted sails in Senigallia. Normally they are sails for slalom or for foil, for racing.
Yes.
Because on the contrary, the difference between wave sails made in Senigallia or the one we produce in Asia is not much. It may be a few grams of difference, because I care a lot on putting the right patches or less dacron in some place instead of the other, without risking to reduce the strongness of the sail. But regarding the racing sails, I want to be sure that the sails that Magic is using in this moment in PVA for winning are the same sails that the racer in Italy, in New Caledonia, I think we have a lot in New Caledonia, or in Germany or in UK, is the same.
Yeah.
And when someone is coming, taking the sails, that sails could have been in the hands of Magic with no troubles. Every assembly of the sails is made by me. Then stitching or putting the buttons or the rest is not important as much, but the assembly of the panels is the most important thing. Half a millimeter can change fully the shape of the sail.
Yeah, yeah. And how do you see the business developing going forward?
Wow, I must say that in the last few years, from COVID on, there was a big stop. There was a kind of, wow, what can we do? But now it seems that everything is coming back. This year is the last year. From next year, or regatta, probably, most probably, all different associations will cooperate. Everybody is pushing for creating as much events as possible, and we want to push even. I'm talking about, regarding Challenger, but I know other brands want to push all that kind of regatta that are not only for the top riders in the world. For example, Defi Wind, 1 Hour, Silvaplana, Weymouths, all these kind of Prince of Speed, for example, that are open to everybody.
Yes.
So there is the normal rider, like it could be you, that is in the water, in the starting line, together with Maciek, Matteo, Albu.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yes.
It's nice. I suppose this is the only sport you can do something like that.
Yeah.
There is no other sport that you can be with the world champion. Shoulder by shoulder, and then, oh, what can I do? And maybe you start better than him one time, and then he goes away naturally. But it is something that you are proud.
And I think that's one of the lovely things about our sport is that actually those guys, Maciek and Matteo and whoever, are always really friendly and really happy to talk to people. They're not an elite person. They're always really, even Robbie and Bjorn and throughout Nick Baker, all of them were always really approachable and nice, normal people.
That's true. This is an I don't know if we can say that, healthy sport.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes,
everybody love each other. They are like a community.
Yeah.
Outside the regatta,
Yes.
naturally in the regatta, you're fighting, and sometimes it happens that you have to
have an argument,
to push a little bit more than what you should.
Yeah.
But in the end, in that moment, adrenaline is you are in the end of the adrenaline, not of the brain. So you do something that normally you don't do. But outside, even if something happens like that, I always see these guys together, enjoying, eating, and like friends, helping each other. For example, I was one time I was asking to one top rider to bring a sail to Maciek, and they were fighting for winning the event.
Yeah.
He couldn't find any excuse not to say no.
Yeah.
In the reality, he said, "Why not? Give me."
Yeah.
And then I know Maciek was bringing a broken mast to someone, not broken, to a new mast because they were breaking to the rider without problem. So there is no that kind of trying to be not correct for winning.
Yeah.
Correcting is the basis.
Yeah.
Then naturally in the race we are enemies, like it should be.
Yeah.
Like it should be.
Yeah. In any sport. And of course we've had the in the last 5 years the rise of the wings, and that's a really exciting development in the industry, and you're making wings as well now.
Yeah.
How do you see that developing?
I must say that in the beginning, 3-4 years ago, when I saw this, and naturally I saw in the beginning people using wing on fin boards.
Yeah.
It was wow, really boring.
Yeah.
These people fighting with the wind and going at the speed of 3 knots.
Yeah.
I say, well, what can they find in this? But immediately after, when they will start designing the right boards with the foil, and the people has learned more and more how to ride the foil, and now it's fantastic. And I was immediately understanding after the first 6 months of of doubt. I was immediately understanding the big future that wing will have. And surely it will cut a big part of a market of kites, more than windsurf, because it's giving the same feeling, the same experience in the water, but without lines. You need 4 square meters. You don't disturb anybody. You go away. You put in your car with like nothing.
Yeah.
And first of all, for me, it's not dangerous at all.
Yeah.
You fall down like with windsurf. If you fall down in the water. There is not something that can give a risk of life or to your health. So for me, I was immediately understanding that this is probably this kind of sport, of a water sport, will grow up a lot. So I was immediately designing the first sails 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and then last year, for this year, that naturally the sails that we are designing now in the next 5 years will be compared to windsurf, like if you are coming out with 10K sails now. Yeah, you can go in a regatta with trinket, but the performances with the last windsurf are a little bit different. But so there will be a lot to work on. I am already designing the 23, 24 already, because if you look at every 4, 5, 6 months maximum, you find something totally different of what you find in the shop and the market right now.
Yeah. And is there any principles that you carry across from your windsurfing and dinghy experience that you've taken into the wings?
The most important thing is, for me, on every water sport, in where you use something that must work with the wind, must be the first thing must be the stability.
Yeah.
Because everything you are already in a not easy position in the water. So if you have a stability in the sails, windsurfing sails, in a boat, in a dinghy, or in even kite or wing, you naturally everything is easier. Yeah. So the most important thing from the first design to the last one is that the wing is really stable, and always light in your hand. And I was studying this wing with the S shape. S shape is something easy to explain, because with the pressure of the wind, the form is correct. The form the sail.
Yes.
So normally in the back, if it forms, it creates a kind of a spoon in the leech area. Yeah. And you feel effort on your backhand. With the S shape, with the pressure on wind, the NACA design is becoming perfect exactly in the moment the wind is working on the sail. So you don't feel that
backhand
the wind is going through, coming out of the sail from the leech in the fastest way, and you are faster with less effort, and your concentration is only in what you have to do. Each maneuver it is jibing or going fast, not on trying to control the sail. This is the most important thing.
Yeah. And so you've been at the top of the windsurfing game now for at least a decade. Where do you see that going in the coming? How do you stay ahead of everybody else? How do you maintain that? And your drive is amazing and your energy, but how do you stay ahead of everybody?
No, not easy to say that I stay ahead or not.
Yeah.
I give my best, but naturally, first of all, is the passion.
Yeah.
Secondly, is the person you work with. So if with you create a kind of communication, and each other. At the beginning, for example, with Maciej was not easy. He was working with another brand or other brands before, and his idea was that we make 10 prototypes, we study one with the other. The best one is the one we will use in the regatta. I told him, no, it's not my way. Tell me what you want, I create a prototype, and then you tell me, oh, I like it, but I don't like this. But it's not fast enough. But it's difficult in jibing, or it doesn't rotate very well, for example. So I make another prototype. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. But in the end, he says it's not needed to add 10, because in 10, in the meantime, you have the best of that 10, but you don't know if you have improved the sail of the year before or not.
Yeah.
This is passion, first of all, because after many years you feel, but really when you work with these guys that are that translate to me their passion. We give each other. Every day is not working, is love.
It's amazing. It's because as people probably know, I don't work in the industry full time. It's my passion. It's my love. It's something that's been a hobby throughout my life. But the same principles apply in whatever job you're doing is it's about constantly moving forward, and it might be just little bits.
Yeah, exactly.
At a time.
Exactly. Now there is not a lot to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make a lighter cam, you can make better rolls or better buttons, something always, but in the shapes are there. I am working now, especially on the stability, as I told you, and the fastest shape.
Yeah.
You have to decide with NASA, sorry, before it was NACA many years ago, now it's NASA. Which NASA profile can be faster, in which condition, in which range of wind.
Yeah.
This is, every day I work on that, every day I make something, because 1/10 of notes of difference can make the difference between being 10 or a world championship.
Yeah.
This is what,
We saw it.
Researching every day, improving every day, trying to improve naturally.
We saw it at 6 o'clock this morning when we were watching the racing, that little bit of difference that Maciek had on that final reach out of that jibe. So that out of the jibe, the sail rotated and he was bang, he didn't touch down, whereas the other two just touched down just for a second, split second.
Yeah, in the end, it's always the person, the athlete that makes the difference. Maciek in jibing is a master, and he made in the third regatta, in the last jibe, he made a masterpiece. I must say that, wow.
Yeah.
I was astonished, really, overpassing people, some like Matteo or like the top rider in the last mark, and from fourth or fifth becoming second is really difficult. I tell you, it's really difficult. And this time we were lucky. Maybe not next time, but I know that this is the arrow that Maciek has in his pocket.
Well, hopefully tonight we'll have more fun watching, and unfortunately you'll be back in Italy, but thank you so much for visiting, and thank you for doing the interview. I hope that lots of people appreciate it.
Again, thanks, Andy. You're a close friend of mine, and I hope that we meet every time each other, more often, as full as possible, as much as possible. Sorry, and thanks for this interview. And I say hello to all the windsurfers and wing riders and foilers in UK. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Ciao.